Welcome to Region Angels, a show that celebrates the people doing great things in our own community. You're either hearing us live on WJOB here at the Strachan Van Til Studios, on the radio at 12:30 a.m. or 104.7 FM. Or maybe you found our podcast episodes on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you get your audio fix these days. So our original show was called Speaking of Charity, and it was started by Gloria, a.k.a. Gogo Morris. But the new format is called Region Angels, and we will shine a light on individuals, nonprofit organizations, angel investors, and even companies making a real difference in our own region. My name is Tina Chip, and I am today's guest host on the show, and I will be a regular here as we make this show bigger and bigger. But today I'm excited also to say that we have our own YouTube channel. So please subscribe at Region Angels, and you'll see our videos, shorts, podcast, and list of episodes. But today's show is going to focus, and we're going to spotlight Jason Williams. He's the CEO of Society of Innovators. Thank you, Jason, for being here on Friday. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Shannon. Great to be on.
And you can see it's very casual.
Yep.
So we have a couch because we find that people talk more when they're on the couch. Just kidding.
Yeah, Region Angels late night edition, right?
Oh, yeah, I could. I love it. Hey, there you go. That's another idea. So for some people that are not familiar with Society of Innovators, and I know you have a big event coming up April 15th, which Gloria will be one of the judges.
Yep.
Can you tell us what it is and how it's impacting the region?
Yeah, so obviously I look forward to talking about Innovate Within High School Pitch Competition we're hosting on Tuesday. But yeah, for those listening in that may have heard of the Society of Innovators or just really aren't familiar with us, the Society of Innovators has actually been around almost 20 years. Actually, this is our 20th year this year, and really birthed out of the frustration 20 years ago that too many people didn't think innovation happened here. Right? That this is a dead region. This is a place we need to get out of, not come into. And obviously, we know that is far from the truth. That there's still a lot of amazing things happening here. So much creativity and innovation. And so the society, really our driving mission for over 2 decades now is just shining a light on the innovation happening here and doing our part to really help drive community and economic development through entrepreneurship and innovation.
That's amazing. And I do agree. I mean, I think it doesn't matter where you are in your stage of life. Yep. You don't have to own a big corporation. You can make an impact because I understand Tuesday's competition involves even high schoolers. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, so that is kind of some of the evolution. So, society has now been embedded at Purdue University Northwest for about 7 years. And, as we, kind of grew our network, recognizing innovators across the region over so many years, we recognized the opportunity to come on, partner, link arms with PNW. And we have this great legacy of recognizing innovators. And so kind of getting to the youth entrepreneurship and the high school piece, we realized with the added resources that the university provides, just kind of adding that mission of, we've got a great legacy of recognizing innovators, but what should our, continued work or added work be to develop more innovators to recognize? And so we have kind of leaned into youth entrepreneurship at the high school level the last couple of years and going forward, obviously not shifting away from some of the legacy work that we do, but it's just really exciting to work with the local high schools and kind of continue to pour our resources into the high school ranks. And so Innovate Within, as you already mentioned, April 15th, we host the region, Northwest Indiana Region 4 finals. Innovate Within is a statewide pitch competition, or Shark Tank, if you will, for Indiana's high school students. It's a statewide competition, so we host the regional competition for that. And it's actually the largest of its kind in the country. Statewide, there's over 2,000 student teams that apply. Here in the region, this year we had about 500 students that applied across the 7 counties. So literally, right, hundreds of schools.
So that's 500 just here in the region.
500 just here in the region. Absolutely.
Wow.
So those numbers only continue to increase, and so it's a very competitive environment. And it's always exciting to see the 10 student teams that we'll get to hear from on Tuesday.
So these are teams that have worked a while, or are they something they've been working throughout their high school career?
Yep.
So, like, if someone's listening now that couldn't do it this year,
Yep.
what's the criteria?
Yeah, so the criteria for Innovate Within is simple. If you're a high school student in the state of Indiana and you have a business you want to present, or you have a problem you're solving, I should say. We know there's really, to answer your question, it's a range. Yeah, I would say the bulk of students that we see, they are actually involved in the entrepreneurship classes at their high school. That one of the Department of Education's career pathways is entrepreneurship, and so there's a number of courses related to that career pathway. So a lot of the students are, in fact, this is kind of the culmination of a full academics year's worth of identifying a problem and building a business solution around that. But again, any high school student, we've seen homeschool students apply. We've seen teams where, it was students from different high schools coming together. And then we also have had success with some students that already had a business and, found Innovate Within, maybe, was able to team up with the business teacher at their high school for additional help and resources. But again, there's no prerequisite as far as you have to be taking a certain class or have to be doing a certain thing. It's just simply, if you have a business idea or you have a business and you're a high school student in the state of Indiana, you're eligible.
Okay, so this has been going on for several years.
Yep.
Have you seen anyone come back to give back to the region that has made such an impact where they may even be able to be a future Region Angel?
Yeah, for
Yes,
sure.
I wanna
So,
hear about that.
yeah, so we've had, this is actually the 8th year for Innovate Within. So the 5th year that we'll have hosted the region competition at Purdue Northwest through the Society of Innovators. We're already starting to see some really good, where are they now type
Yes,
stories.
I like that.
So there's actually one, a couple years ago, there was a team out of Hobart High School, Patchables,
Oh.
2 young women with that team, and they're just now seniors. They actually won the state competition as freshmen in high school. And so, they've kind of been giving back still as additional resources, mentors to other teams at the high school over the last 3 years. We actually were able to recognize their work with the Women on the Rise with the Leadership Institute of Northwest Indiana last year. So these young women that are, have earned scholarships and are absolutely going to go on to some great things. 2 other young women I want to call out, Faith Spencer and Imani Ellis, were former Innovate Within participants. Both went on to Purdue University in West Lafayette to study.
Boiler up.
Yeah, and they have they graduated last year and are now back in the region. And they started an organization called Ironworks Corporation in Gary to really give back through entrepreneurship. So their mission is to help support underserved entrepreneurs in Lake County and around the region. And actually, we're teaming up with them later this month, April 25th and 26th.
Okay.
They're hosting the Summit NWI, is a new 2-day conference all about entrepreneurship and innovation here in the Gary community, serving the whole region. So those are really 2, as far as giving back. But what's also exciting to see is, again, some of those where are they now type stories.
Right.
So another young man, Ben Eberly, was a student. He was actually one that had his own idea, not related to a specific business class or assignment, but developed a rear view mirror for water skiing and for boats, like portable to go in the cup holders. And through Innovate Within, he was a placed at state. I think it was second place 2 years ago at the state competition. Actually earned some scholarship funding to attend here at Purdue Northwest. So he's currently a student here at PNW, but he is actively still working. He's launched his actual product. He's now selling this online, working on a deal with some online retailers. It has a finished product and continuing to grow this business. Is now seeking some venture funding. So Toe Scout is the name of his product. So it's obviously been exciting to follow that. And then we see some of these students that take their experience and they're not necessarily working on the same business, but it's the skills and the knowledge, the connections that they gain. So Joshua Avila is a young man from Munster High School. Again, he was a state finalist a couple years ago with Innovate Within, and he has really completely pivoted his business. But now, as a young professional, he is running his own marketing studio called Next Marketing and working on social media for ton of really specializing in auto dealers and a lot of businesses around the area. But I don't know if you talk to Joshua, it is 100% based on that experience with Innovate Within, really giving him not only the skills, but also the motivation to continue running his own business and be an entrepreneur.
It's just amazing that right here in our backyard, if people think things don't happen in the region, they do.
Right.
It sounds like there's a lot of region angels. And if they want to find out more, is there a one-stop shop website that they can go to? Anyone listening?
Yeah, well, certainly, everything, related to the Society of Innovators, you can find us on the Purdue Northwest website. So
Okay.
it's pnw.edu, just / Society of Innovators, or, a quick search for Society of Innovators at Purdue Northwest. We'll find everything about us. Then Innovate Within. So again, that is a separate statewide organization, just innovatewithin.org. We'll pull up all the details about Innovate Within. And again, you can find details for the Region 4 pitch finals on Tuesday. It's Tuesday, April 15th from about 9 to 1 here on Purdue Northwest campus in Hammond on Tuesday. So we're excited to hear from the 10 students this year.
That'll be exciting. And I know Gloria is one of the shark judges. So hopefully that she'll be able to share what happened at the actual event. But it's just, again, the idea of anyone can make a difference, right? You don't have to be living in, a big city. We can be right here in Northwest Indiana. And if you have a passion, many years ago, I actually worked with a problem that I found not being able to change my oldest when he was a baby in public places. And we found that a lot of children with special needs, as they get older, they don't fit on the changing table, the limit of the weight. So we actually developed a changing kit. And we worked locally, and my mom first sewed them, and then we went to manufacture, and we would sell them and give them away to people in need. And it was something that I still have a box of. So hopefully one day when my children have children, they can say, your grandma, your yaya, because I'm Greek, invented this. So, and it was something that really taught me, if you have a passion, there's a lot of obstacles, but there's support out there. And especially if it's going to make someone's life better. So I love that people don't have to go on the National Shark Tank.
Yep, for sure.
But they can go right here in Northwest Indiana, which is amazing.
Absolutely. And I think one, key, element you touched on, and really one of our foundational beliefs, and, to this day, is that anyone can be an innovator, and innovation can come from anywhere. And I think that's one of the exciting things, shifting back to the Society of Innovators, the work that we do, getting to shine a spotlight and tell the stories of innovators and innovations, the problems being solved around the region, is that it's everything from, the small inventive entrepreneurs to the large, legacy corporations, the nonprofits, our educational systems, that, being innovative, creatively solving problems is not limited to one, type of person or one sector.
No. And it's, again, right happening in the region. So it'll be exciting to see what happens. So last year, over 2,000 students, correct, from across the state applied, and then 600 here in Northwest Indiana. But then Tuesday, this is the final. This is it.
Yeah, well, this is the region finals. I guess the one thing that we like to say is use the sports analogy. Obviously when our region football teams or basketball teams, earn a spot in the state championship down in Indianapolis, right? I mean, we hold pep rallies. We paint buses and have a caravan down 65 to cheer for these teams. And, in that round before the state championship in sports, we call semi-state. And even though this says, region finals on Tuesday, this is the round to earn a spot in the state. So this really is, in my opinion, this is semi-state for business, semi-state for entrepreneurship. And, one of our goals is to, support these kids as if they were that, the stars on the field or the court. And so obviously, a lot of opportunities like this to just spread the word. To fill the stands, if you will, on Tuesday to cheer these kids on as they're putting forth their best presentations. But then once they earn their spot at state, the state championship or the state finals, I should say, takes place in June, and so we have kind of a build-up window to continue to prop up our state finalists or finalists.
How many will go?
There's one automatic qualifier, so basically the winner of the region finals, and then I think there's 2 at-large spots around the state. Last year we were able to send we had a second team chosen from Northwest Indiana, so we're very proud that we do tend to lead the state in not only state appearances, but just overall quality. We like to
love
think that
it.
there's something
I
different
love
here in the
it.
water in Northwest Indiana. But again, we'll use that 3 month window before the state finals to really prop these kids up and host get the students on air with different opportunities. We work with the Lake County Corn Dogs baseball team,
I
so
love
actually we'll have an event in early June with them where the state finalist gets to throw the first pitch out. This will actually be the 4th year that we've partnered with the Lake County Corn Dogs
You guys
to
are
really
busy.
celebrate them. So again, we want to treat these business state finalists the same as we would the basketball or football team.
But it also gives them the opportunity and exposure.
Yep.
So I can imagine that even through that, whether it's through now with social media, even if they don't make it down to the state finals, there's still opportunity and the experience. And I always say, always be building your resume.
Yep.
What a great resume builder.
Oh, absolutely. And again, going back to even some of the other students we mentioned that have gone on to, success in college or running their own businesses, we know firsthand talking to these students, talking to their teachers, that again, the entrepreneurial mindset, it's the skills, the experiences they're gaining,
Yes.
no matter what they go and do, if they, enroll in college after high school, they're already, this much further than their peers as far as working in groups, talking to strangers, getting up in front of a classroom and presenting an idea. A lot of those soft skills that really tie to entrepreneurship or really just life.
It is,
And
sometimes we
and
aren't
so
learning
we
those
we
life
know
skills.
that this is the experiences they're gaining are just invaluable.
So Jason, what brought you here? What's your background?
Yeah, so business and marketing is my background. So I actually
So
spent
what high school did you go to? What's,
so
what's
I grew up in West Lafayette.
Okay, so-
and actually my dad is a retired professor in entomology from Purdue
Okay.
West Lafayette. So obviously been around the Purdue system my whole life. I actually ended up down at Butler University in Indianapolis to study business and marketing. Then spent the first 15 years or so of my career in corporate marketing. Spent I guess 11 years. I was going to say almost a decade. It was a decade plus one as the U.S. Marketing director for one of the world's largest consumer product manufacturers, plastic goods. So everything from sheds to shelving and toolboxes. So hardware, lawn and garden. And then had the opportunity down in Indianapolis, there was an innovation network starting to take shape. This goes back, probably 12 years ago now, that ended up becoming a group called Centric, was a really ecosystem to support more of the corporate entrepreneurship side or corporate innovation side in Indy, and had the chance to leave and become the executive director of that. And through that process, actually got to know the Society of Innovators. We hosted the statewide Indiana Innovation Awards. And very much, knew about the society. And long story short, obviously twists and turns along the way with the career path. Had the opportunity where we started to talk to one another and thought I was going to be doing some work for the society. And they had other plans and recruited me up here shortly after they became embedded at
So that's
at
full
Purdue.
circle.
So, yeah,
Full circle
for sure.
for you. Your dad proud?
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's great to be obviously Purdue Northwest is the region-facing entity of Purdue, but yeah, it's all part of the Purdue system. So yeah,
Boiler up.
yeah,
I went to Purdue one year.
boil up and go Pride.
And
So,
then I transferred to Columbia College in Chicago. So, but I'm still really good friends with my college Purdue friends, which is it's also helped shape. So, one bit of advice that you would give to anybody, because even from your corporate background, from like beginning to end, there's going to be a lot of failures, a lot of successes. If someone in the region is thinking about next year's competition,
Yep.
what would you tell them?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, to the competition, just to any, and I would even tell people that may be on the fence, even applying for like the Society of Innovators Awards with the innovation they've been working on. I would say first and foremost, if there's something you're working on, do it as far as just applying. From my perspective with the society, the more applications we receive, even if we know up front that it's probably not one of the stronger applications, it at least lets us, our team know what exists in the region, right? What are the creative, innovative things that are being worked on? So, you by applying, you're at least putting yourself on the radar of someone. So I would say just do it as far as applying. I would say one, piece of advice specifically related to entrepreneurship, and I'll pull this back from specifically high school, because obviously we see a lot of, adult would-be and current entrepreneurs, get so fixated on, when you're developing an idea or launching a product. I guess there's that false sense that, maybe you're not the one capable of doing it. And I would say, right, I mean, everyone, even if you look out at the landscape and there's 10 other, people or companies that have a similar idea, right, you're the only you. Only you have the unique experience you bring to the table. Maybe it's a problem you've identified in your industry, or specific work you did, a specific problem you're experiencing at home, changing diapers, right? That you have that unique experience, meaning you're not only bringing experience, you're also bringing a unique passion and intimate knowledge and experience to that problem. No one else has your connections. So I would say that there's so many reasons that, again, it kind of falls back in line of just do it. But I would just say, really being more confident in the unique aspects to the business you're bringing, beyond just the, kind of more the simple products and services.
Yeah. And I think that's great. Everything comes from passion. Mm-hmm. So, well, thank you for being with us. Again, it's the Society of Innovators, and they're working with the Started Up Foundation to host this InnovatewithIN Northwest Region Finals, which is next Tuesday, April 15th at P&W's right here. Again,
it's
right
on the Hammond
region,
campus. Yep.
On the Hammond campus, not that far. Yep. So if you're not familiar, again, there's websites to check it out. It's really the largest business pitch competition for high school students.
Yeah, it is. The
there's
biggest,
always something
the
there.
Yep.
Well, thank you for joining us. Gloria will be back next Friday, and her guest will be Gretchen Mercer with Northwest Indiana No Child Hungry. And then I will be back as well the following Friday. There are some upcoming events that I do want to mention. Save the date. April 27th is Listen to Your Mother. All proceeds will benefit Meals on Wheels. Gloria, I don't know how that girl does it, but she's going to be a cast member. And she will be reading a short story on a very unusual situation that happened just over 1 year ago with her mom and dad. And it is an amazing story. So I want to thank everyone for listening. I want to thank Jason again for being here. I appreciate it. I want to thank our producer and give him a thumbs up. I want to thank Strachan Van Til, the Deedlows. And it's just been an amazing Friday. I hope everyone has an amazing day. Remember to follow us, subscribe to our YouTube channel at Region Angels, and we can talk more next Friday. Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks, Tina.
Thank you.